From fake smiles to finstas to downright false narratives, we are getting to the bottom of some of the latest shady business coming out of the film industry this week.
Listen up, it's jazz.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Hotchaipod, a podcast where we serve all of that sizzling Bollywood tea. I'm your host, Jazz, and the teapot is overflowing today with our hot chai topics. But first, I wanted to announce that we will be doing the first ever Hot Chai Pod Awards, and you guys will vote on everything from this year's best movie to the craziest scandal and more. So I'm going to post the link in the video description, probably in the YouTube comments, and it'll also be on the Hot Chai Pod YouTube channel as a post. So once we get a good amount of votes in within the next week or so, then I will do an episode before the end of the year announcing the results. I'm actually pretty excited for this, and if you have any suggestions for winners or you don't see the category that you want to talk about, there will be a write-in for that as well. So kicking off, here we go again. Aishwarya Rai, Abhishek Bachchan. Now I'm getting whiplash. They attended a family friend's wedding over the weekend, and they were in a few photos together. Of course, this opened up a whole lot of questions because people are like, wait, are they actually together? Have we been tricked? By far, the weirdest and most consistent thing was not the story itself, but how the story was being told. So, multiple headlines were saying Aishwarya and Abhishek squashed divorce rumors over and over, right? Different outlets. And okay, is it immediately squashed? Don't you think confuses fans, raises questions, causes a stir online, breaks the internet? Because I think it's more questions than answers. And this type of press around these photos is it's a little pre-planned. And no, teacups, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but obviously something has been going on, right? And also this photo does nothing. It does not squash, okay? It's not like his arm's not around her in the picture, and then they also did this at the Ambani Jamnagar pre-wedding event. They all came together as a family. They did kind of sit next to each other, but then they came separately to the big wedding function a few months later, which is when all of this started to cook up. Few different theories were circulating, right? Maybe they're just being cordial and they're making this public appearance. Maybe they are in an off and on relationship. And I actually did see people say that this might be some elaborate publicity stunt and that they're both loving this and being in the press. And I think that is very far from the truth. I don't think that Aishwarya would want that kind of speculation around her. And I really don't think Abhishek would want all of this trolling around him, right? They would have nipped this in the bud. I mean, the cheating rumors, the hate comments, I don't think that either one of them would have signed up for that willingly. And the timing is sus. I don't care what anyone says, because then this other clip started circulating all over every single news page, all these Instagram accounts. And it's a clip about Abhishek discussing having a second baby with Aishwarya. And so the news is making it seem like this just happened. And no, this is from an old episode of a show he did called Case To Banta Hai, which Ritesh Deshmukh used to host, I guess. And so Ritesh asks Abhishek, when is the second baby coming? And Abhishek plays coy. He doesn't really answer the question. He says something like, we're going to wait for the next generation to come up or something. So first of all, that episode is from 2022, okay? And it conveniently has been re-released and now circulating all over the webs, right? And second of all, he didn't even say he wanted a second baby. So this is a nothing burger. There's nothing in there. I feel like I'm going crazy at this point, okay? I'm trying to make sense of the nonsense. And if you're also getting confused, comment below because I want to hear it and I want to feel less alone. What rumor was actually squashed, by the way, was the horrible narrative that had been going around when Deepika Padukone was pregnant and people were saying that she was faking her pregnancy. Well, the joke is on you guys because she made her first public appearance at Diljit Dosanjh's concert in Bengaluru, and it looked like she had a lot of fun, and I'm sure she did, because when I went to go see Diljit over the summer, I lost my voice, okay? And so she's dancing, she's on stage, they're doing these little bits, and of course, she's looking gorgeous as ever. Shocker. Can tell, she's a little different. It looks like she did just give birth. So how do you like that, okay? For the people making those disgusting comments when she was pregnant, it's like you thought she was just faking her pregnancy because she looked that good even when she was pregnant. Sorry, the truth hurts. Speaking of haters, so Jigra released onto Netflix last weekend, and brand new narrative, okay? Every news site or talking head was coming out and basically saying Jigra has found its home and its audience on streaming. And like the audience didn't appreciate Jigra for the masterpiece that it is, and now they have or they can. That would actually be cool if it were true. And unfortunately, Jigra didn't break any kind of records on Netflix, and Vicky Vidya Ka Vo Vala Video, which outperformed it at the box office, it's come to Netflix the same day as Jigra, and it's been trending higher, in the top 10. And not to add insult to injury, but I'm pretty sure that Savi was actually trending more when it released over the summer. So that's another win for Divya Khosla Kumar's battle against Jigra that nobody saw coming. But this is all to say, do not gaslight us. And this is all to say, do not gaslight us, okay? This is not the audience's fault, or that the audience only likes trash, or that we all hate Alia because she's a Nepo, because really, Animal is still in the top 10 on Netflix in India. Actually, we got some Animal news and tea last week as well. So Ranbir Kapoor confirmed that they will start shooting Animal Park, which is the sequel to the first movie, in 2027. Now, I cannot be the only one disappointed by this, okay? I'm assuming his dates were blocked for Love and War and then the Ramayana that he's supposed to be shooting. But I was really looking forward to Animal Park. I want to see what happens with the Bobby 2 and the crazy evil new twin. And I know that a lot of you guys were also looking forward to it, though some of you were not. It brought up the idea of shooting the sequels at the same time that they shoot the main movie, because you have the dates booked, people still look the same age. They did that for Ponniyin Selvan, the movie with Aishwarya in the South. And is that the right move? I think it's a gamble too, because I'm sure Venga could not have expected Animal to be as big of a blockbuster as it was. But you know what? We are living in instant gratification times, because looking back, Ek the Tiger came out in 2012. And then Tiger Zinda Hai, the sequel, didn't release until 2020. So there is precedent, and Tiger Zinda Hai, I think, did even bigger box office numbers than the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Who also didn't bet on Animal was Parineeti Chopra. Parineeti did an interview last week, and I can say she somehow manages to get a lot of press. So Parineeti said she rejected Animal to do Chamkila with Diljit Dosanjh, which was a straight-to-Netflix movie. So Parineeti said, quote, I was offered many songs. I was singing songs composed by A.R. Rahman. I was offered to do much more, and so I chose Chamkila. Okay, Chamkila did get a lot of critical acclaim. Parineeti's career, let's be real, has been a little bit stalled. You're telling me she rejected a movie opposite Ranbir Kapoor? I was a little bit suspicious. So I dug a little bit deeper, and I saw that last year, Sandeep Reddy Venga, the director of Animal, had done some press, and he said that he was the one who replaced Parineeti for the film. He said that he felt it wasn't a fit, and that he felt really bad firing her, and that he had to replace her with Rashmika. And I'm sure he did feel bad, because he did the same thing to Parineeti for the movie Kabir Singh. He had cast Parineeti to play the role of Preeti, and then he switched it to Kiara Advani. And he said, quote, nothing is bigger than the film. And apparently Parineeti was very upset by the Animal switch up, which I can't blame her, since it's 2 big films that she's lost now in a row from Venga. To be honest, I think Animal was perfectly cast. I know there was some chatter that Rashmika only got the movie because, he wanted exposure to the South, or because her boyfriend, Vijay Deverakonda, allegedly, who did Arjun Reddy, convinced the director to take Rashmika. It was a detailed interview that Venga did about all of the casting choices in Animal, so I'm not actually sure that that's it. And I would agree that Parineeti is a very strong actress, but I don't see her having chemistry with Ranbir Kapoor. Similar vibe when she did that movie with Aditya Roy Kapoor. They didn't have a lot of chemistry, not a good match. So honestly, it's probably for the best that she actually did do Chamkila. And speaking of chemistry, no chemistry. So Ranbir Kapoor, Shraddha Kapoor, other actors from around the world were at the Red Sea Film Festival. I mentioned Ranbir and Shraddha because they got a lot of attention for who they were talking to at the festival. Shraddha met with Andrew Garfield, aka Spider-Man, on the red carpet, and then they were chatting, and then he said afterwards, like, she's very sweet and gentle or something. Okay, whatever that means. And then Ranbir was on the red carpet with Olivia Wilde. And so they posed and they were talking. And then, of course, came all the savage comments that Ranbir Kapoor has chemistry with literally every actress except his wife, Alia Bhatt.
We used to go out at night, he's like, wipe that off. Wipe that off, because he loves the natural.
But I don't know. We will see soon enough for Love and War, which is still shooting. And for Teacup Time today, we have a couple spooky Instagram sightings, okay? So the first one is that there was this wedding and the couple hired not only Shah Rukh Khan, but also Karthik Aaryan and Sara Ali Khan to perform. There's this clip of Sara Ali Khan dancing at the wedding, and someone put a caption over it like, oh, she pretends to be middle class, but she's a movie star. And you could see that Alia's official Instagram account had liked this post. So then, bam, the people of Reddit call it out, they make a post about it, and then suddenly the post has been unliked by Alia's account. So teacups, never forget that we are not the only ones lurking on Reddit, okay? Everybody is there. Liking, this shady post from Alia's account. Technically, it could have been someone on like her social media team who accidentally went and liked it and didn't realize they were on her official Instagram. Or it was Alia herself and she forgot, she's not on her Finsta, which I'm sure she has one. And people online were making a lot of comments like, Alia's a mean girl and wow, she's showing her true colors. I'm going to go against the grain here and I'm going to pose this question. If Alia did agree with this post, is she wrong? Okay, is she wrong? I think Sara does put a lot of effort into seeming like the everyday girl, the middle class girl. She's so cheap. And it's like, girl, you are literally a patootie princess, okay? You went to an Ivy League college and you are a Nepo baby getting all of these big banner movies. So sorry, not sorry. I think that I agree with the post too.
It's my opinion!
Finally, I saved the most scary piece of news for last. A couple of you wrote in asking Jazz, have you noticed? Noticed what, you may ask? Well, our most beautiful man, Fawad Khan, may or may not have debuted a new look. He posted a photo of him with his wife, and his teeth, they did stand out to me a little bit, okay? It was giving LA, it was giving a little chiclet, but nothing I'm not used to, believe me. And obviously, my initial reaction was, no, why? Because of all the people to not need to touch their face, go under the knife, I'm going to vote Fawad Khan, okay? I said it. Potentially, he is the president of the club of people who don't need to touch their face, okay? So now that we got the shock out of our system, did he get veneers is the question, right? Did he get his teeth all kind of replaced? I've been studying this recent picture and some of the older photos of him smiling, trying to look at different angles, and it's hard for me to say definitively yes or no. He may have just done, a more aggressive whitening treatment, but from this angle and the distance, impossible to say, so do not worry yet, teacups. It seems that all is still right in the world. And let's remind ourselves some good news, which is that Fawad Khan is coming back to our Bollywood screens very soon. And after that slight adrenaline spike, false alarm news, we conclude our teacup times. Do not forget to vote in the hotchaipod awards. Again, the link will be below, and ask your friends too as well. I'm excited to see what you guys all think as we close out this year. And if you enjoyed this episode, do not forget to hit like below. And until next week, bye.
Listen up, it's jazz.